Welcome to Mortgage Markets and More. I'm your host, Peter D'Angelo, kicking off your new week. I hope you had a great weekend. It's getting a little warmer here in northern Jersey, getting a taste of that spring and hopefully that summer to come, which will be hot and hopefully not as wet as it's been lately. I know on Friday there was a bit of a data dump. We talked a lot of numbers, a lot of economic data, a lot of interest rate numbers. We're not going to do a full run through of the mortgage rates today. They are staying where they were. And we're going to see how this week starts playing out. And this is going to be a week-to-week type of volatility and adjustments, and things are going to be happening within the day sometimes. So be on the lookout. There may be a midweek check-in. It may be a small, short episode, but just to bring everyone up to speed as to where things are from a mortgage rate standpoint. And then if there's anything pertinent to the real estate side of things in the real estate market, I'll be sure to share that as well. After thinking about everything we went over on Friday, I thought it would be appropriate for us to spend today's episode to talk about how to manage. How do we manage while interest rates are extremely volatile? Some of this will be shameless plugs of things that we offer at Guaranteed Rate, but moreover, we're going to talk globally about things that you can do as a prospective home buyer, and if you're a real estate professional, ways that you can guide your clients, because this volatile time eats up buying power with the way that interest rates can move. If interest rates go down, it opens up more, but you feel it way more when the interest rates go up and the buying power gets affected. The first thing I wanted to talk about was discount points. Discount points have a bad rap. There's a bad reputation around them, and I think my opinion is it's a function of how business was conducted prior to 2008 and immediately following, people getting charged exorbitant fees in their loans. There are safeguards now in lending that prevent extremely high costs and fees. And we have an actual test that loans undergo that's called a high cost and high fee test. And if you don't pass, then we can't proceed with the financing. So there are protections for the consumer, but discount points, I use the language of calling them permanent buy downs. That's essentially what they are. In the past, discount points were, ways that, mortgage companies were able to create additional revenue prior to 2008. Where, if you charged a client, that was money that was going to the company, the manager, or other people involved. Now there's a standardization across our industry, and discount points are a way that you can secure a lower than market interest rate by paying a premium up front. Now, it's important to note that it's not all created equal, and it depends on the day. So a discount point is referenced as a percentage of the loan amount that gets paid, and that's how we calculate the premium that you'd pay. So let's just talk numbers to make an example. If you have a $500,000 loan amount and you get quoted an interest rate and it's say 7.5%. However, if you pay one discount point, which would be 1% of the loan amount, so each discount point is a percent of the loan amount. If you pay one discount point, that would be 1% of $500,000. That'd be $5,000. And your rate may be, let's say, 7.25% or 7%. It will depend on the day and how the market is. So you may not have to pay that full point to get 7.25%. Maybe it's only half. And you do not need to pay a round figure on the discount point. So you can theoretically pay, instead of it being $5,000, maybe it's $2,000, and it gets you a little bit of a lower rate. If you're trying to manage to a budget, this is a helpful tool. As interest rates may be volatile, if you have the money in the bank, if you have the means to do so, this could be a way that you can maintain a budget, keeping yourself a little insulated from what's happening in the market as the interest rates are very volatile right now. So that's discount points. There are other things that you can leverage. There's temporary buy downs. That's the reason why I call discount points a permanent buy down, because you are permanently getting a lower rate for your mortgage term if you see it through to maturity by paying that premium up front. There are other types that are possible, temporary, but temporary buy downs, they include essentially or rather require cooperation from the seller, so that the seller is the one that's actually kicking in for that. You're kind of financing it. You're going to pay more money for the property. So the seller, when they kick the money back to you in the transaction, all legally here, that creates a subsidy that can defray your mortgage payments. And that's a temporary buy down. I'm not going to get too into the weeds with that. If you're interested in learning more about that, reach out. Let me know. I'm happy to include that on a future episode. So discount points, that's number one. That can help you navigate a monthly payment that's within your budget. It does require money up front. Second thing, let's talk about mortgage insurance. We talked about it in the past. There was one episode we dedicated to breaking down mortgage insurance. So for purposes of discussing mortgage insurance right now, we're going to be only talking about conventional loans. FHA loans, if you recall from the prior episode, have a standardized mortgage insurance. There's an upfront premium and a monthly premium. You can't really do anything other than have more down payment, and that will affect what that mortgage insurance cost is. Conventional, though, on conventional financing, mortgage insurance is what we call priced. It's considered priced because we will look at the loan file, and the mortgage insurance premium that you will be charged monthly will be based upon factors of your loan, things like down payment amount, things like your credit score, your debt to income ratio, all these things that we covered on past episodes. So when we're talking about how mortgage insurance operates, it actually looks at multiple aspects. So sometimes if you put 10% down versus 15%, you will have a lower mortgage insurance premium with 15% down. If you were to have 5% versus 10%, you're going to have a higher mortgage insurance premium. Standard operating procedure is common to just have mortgage insurance paid as a monthly amount. And that's based upon what you would qualify for. At Guaranteed Rate, we have a number of mortgage insurance providers that we actually shop on behalf of our borrowers. So we know we're getting our borrowers the best possible mortgage insurance rate all at once. So you don't have to worry about that. That's something we do behind the scenes. Monthly mortgage insurance is not the only way to do mortgage insurance. There are some loan programs that will be promoted as no MI or no mortgage insurance. Sometimes they are more beneficial. Be wary though. A lot of times, I won't say all the time, but often you'll see a program promoted as no mortgage insurance, but then you have a higher interest rate. Money's coming from somewhere to pay that mortgage insurance premium. What I wanted to address was, instead of monthly, you can actually have a single premium for your mortgage insurance that you pay up front. Now, there's an asterisk here. We talked before about how there are high cost tests that we need to pass, making sure that the loan that we're providing our borrowers doesn't go over a certain threshold by way of costs and exorbitant fees. This single premium mortgage insurance is what it's called. It's an upfront payment. So instead of paying every month for mortgage insurance, you pay upfront at closing a one-time charge, and now your mortgage insurance policy is set. You do not need to make further payments. Monthly and single premium. These are the two ends of the spectrum. In between, we offer, in addition to those two, a hybrid, where you can have what's called a split premium. A split premium will have you charged a certain amount of money at closing, and then because you're paying upfront a certain amount, your monthly cost for mortgage insurance gets discounted because you've already paid upfront a particular amount of premium. This is another way that you can navigate as interest rates are going up, and if you're putting less than 20% down, this could be a very helpful way of managing a monthly payment closer to or at your budget while the interest rate goes up. So those are the first two things I wanted to mention. You've got discount, permanent buy down, or discount points. You can pay to have a lower interest rate. 2, you can pay upfront or a combination of upfront and monthly to defray your monthly costs for mortgage insurance. Those are the two main things that I wanted to highlight for you, as it may be helpful while managing what is a very volatile environment for mortgage interest rates. Outside of that, price point. We were talking about 2 tools that are in the mortgage process that can help you. The next thing that can help is establishing price ranges. Something that I am starting to incorporate now in how I conduct business every day. When I'm reviewing a pre-approval with a client of mine, I am going to start putting together scenarios of, hey, here's where the interest rate is now. If the interest rate goes up to here, this is what we're looking at. And if the interest rate goes down, this is what we're looking at. Going through scenario prospects with your mortgage professional will prove to be extremely helpful. Albeit, when you're out there shopping, different townships have different tax amounts. Different properties have different tax amounts. So that's already a moving target. And of course, homeowners insurance, that's subject to fluctuation based on how that industry is operating. So again, that's another variable that's already part of what we have to manage normally. Having a couple scenarios put together with your mortgage professional will help you tremendously when these volatile times come, because you already will have the knowledge and understanding of, okay, a 7.5% interest rate, my maximum buying power based on either my personal budget or based upon my maximum qualification, which is what I'm comfortable with doing, it's here. And then if the rates go down to, let's say 7%, it's here. And if they go down to 6.75 or 6.5, it's here. And then you kind of have a good understanding of the breadth of where you can be shopping in. And then when you talk to your real estate professional about that, they're going to be thrilled. They're going to be extremely impressed that you have all of your numbers lined up. Me as a mortgage professional, I can take care of that for my clients in communicating, speaking that real estate lingo with the real estate professional. But as a borrower, as a prospective home buyer, you can do this and make it part of your process as you're going through the pre-approval process with your mortgage professional. You'll get a good sense. You'll be able to be prepared for whatever may come. And, we still don't know if rates are peaking now or if they're going to go up further. This is all dependent on the inflation conversation and the Fed's monetary policy. The fourth thing, so we've talked now about discount points, we've talked about mortgage insurance, we've talked about the price point. The last one I wanted to mention was something that's a little different. This is more for a particular type of rate environment that we currently are not in. On Friday, we talked about that 7.6 adjustable rate mortgage and how that's gone up now to close to 7% on average, according to Mortgage News Daily's rate survey. So adjustable rate mortgages, that will be a moment in time type of a thing. Always check if you're comfortable. Here is the deal with adjustable rate mortgages. You will have a fixed period, whether it's 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and then after that, mortgage rates will adjust. You will be improperly guided if you hear or you have a perspective that's, oh, well, you know what? I'll just refi when the rates go down. It's really important to stress that we don't know when that's going to happen, how that's going to happen. Last week, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase Bank, he was talking about in his annual letter that he could see mortgage rates going up to 8% again. I'm not in that camp, but Jamie's a smart guy. He's been doing this a long time. He normally is a little more adverse, we've noticed lately, to the whole mortgage lending side of things, and that's in no sense a slight. He's a very smart man, and he's been doing this for a long time. But conversations are happening on all ends of the spectrum right now. So to prepare yourself best, the big warning with adjustable rate mortgages is that you are establishing a time where you need to refinance if you want to have a lower payment or you're exposed to the market. Now, who's to say what the market's going to look like 5 years from now? We barely have a grasp or a good understanding of where it will be 2 to 3 months from now, based upon everything that's in flux right now. Until inflation comes down, this is going to be how it is. Things are going to go up, things are going to go down. It's going to be volatile. But adjustable rate mortgages, for those of you who are comfortable and have the stomach to tolerate that risk, they could present possible discounts while the fixed rate mortgages, 30-year fixed rate mortgages, are higher. So Those are 4 possible routes that you can explore that can help you manage the current environment. Something I'll make a forward-looking statement for. If real estate values start to soften or we find ourselves in this higher rate environment for a longer period of time, we may start to see homes sit for a little while longer. We already have this information from when it happened in the past. When mortgage rates went up, there was a panic, particularly with home sellers, where they pulled their homes off the market when mortgage rates reached that 8 to 8.25% range. So now if mortgage rates are hanging out in the mid 7s now, then you may see some sellers pulling their listings, or sellers that leave the home on the market because maybe they need to buy something, anything along those lines. They could sit on the market for a while. If that were to happen and some of the power is lost on the sell side of the equation, then you may have some negotiating power. The first 2 things that we discussed today about permanent buy downs or discount points and mortgage insurance, if you're putting less than 20% down, you can request a seller concession with your offer to help defray the cost of those permanent rate buy downs or to help defray the cost of upfront mortgage insurance premium payment. Just so you have a couple tools in your belt, there's ways that could possibly be navigated here, depending on what the market actually turns out to look like in the next few months. That's it for me today. I wanted to keep it brief because Friday was a long and drawn out one. We had a lot of information in there. Didn't want to overwhelm you on a Monday, but for now, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I encourage you to share the show with anybody who may find this information beneficial, useful, and until we talk on Friday, we're going to be talking about some real estate trends that we've been noticing, and I'll share some data, maybe a couple graphs. I love some graphs from time to time, but I'll have that for you on Friday this week. And if you do need anything, reach out to me, call me, text me, find me on socials. Always happy to answer any questions you may have. Until then, make it a great week and take good care.